just released new functionality that I wanted to highlight in the form of what is called a planning hub. Planning hubs for us are going to allow us the ability to take dashboards, but take it one step further, where we can actually bring different dashboard views in. Like I'm looking at my summary for my store planning dashboard here. You can see all of the same metrics that we were looking at before with gross margin, still clickable by store, by region. But it also allows me the ability to pull in some AI generated metrics as well. So if I wanted to see an outlook at maybe what revenue or COGS or what my gross margin is going to be looking like, AI generated summary of some of my high level KPIs. It could also include text box like we see at the top for us saying we have to complete these particular tasks. So Workday Adaptive Planning has continued to put out more and more in terms of R&D and getting us, with the semi-annual releases, functionality that is going to curate even further that store manager experience, right? So we came in and looked at summary, maybe we came in and looked at sales, or we could even start to look at our budget versus budget. So if I wanted to look at, in this case, our webinar version that we were looking at to see if there's any changes or tweaks. Here's the sales for clothing for women that we expected. There's an uptick in discounts that we would expect for some of those member discounts. You can see that product cost has gone up. Expenses related to depreciation expense. Let's see, here's that shelving cost coming in. So immediately able to see the changes that we had made in that what if scenario. We could do this on a store by store basis, as we can see here. We could do this again on a district by district or region by region basis. So a lot of flexibility whenever it comes into looking at budget versus budget. Now, taking this one step further, if we wanted to, we could even start to look at comparative store comparative reporting as well. So in this case, we're going to go into my version. I'm going to click into my webinar version, refresh this here for us. Now I'm looking at all of my sales, all of sales adjustments and COGS on a store by store basis. Now, inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, we have the ability to curate this view for our users to be specific to their particular groups of stores. So let's say that Alex is a district manager for District 1, would only be able to come in and see maybe this particular district. Joanna may be a regional manager, so can see all of stores 1001, 1002. So having curated access to your specific stores so you can come in and say, okay, something doesn't feel right or something feels off, or let's start to dig into what our gross margin looks like at a store level basis. Now, again, taking it a step further, one of the things that Workday Adaptive Planning has recently come out with is the ability for Ask Workday or the planning agent as well. So we can actually do this store comparative reporting, open up our planning agent on the right-hand side and say things like maybe summarize this report, or if we wanted to detect anomalies. So what this is going to do is it's going to analyze the report. It's going to analyze all of my store by store basis. It's going to go in and look at all of the sales, all of the adjustments, all of the COGS, and then compare each one of these columns against the others to see if there's any outliers or see if there's anything that it would deem as an anomaly. So it's scouring all of that information, being able to come in and produce, this anomaly detection. Now, as you can see here down here, you don't have to just select detect anomalies. I could have typed in, detect anomalies. So it has a natural language interface. But because I'd selected detect anomalies, you can go in and see, okay, we have immediate insight into exactly why we're seeing some anomalies. Most of them are looking like they're at store 2002.5. So that's where we're seeing a lot of anomalies. You can see that there's changes within sales adjustments. So at this point, I'm going to scroll over to 2002.5. We can see that, yes, here's that women's clothing is much higher than a lot of other places. We can see that, COGS is significantly higher than a lot of others. This could be based off of maybe the cluster or the cohort that it's responsible for, or the overall store size. So I can continue clicking in and drilling down to get more information or more, understanding about why we're seeing the variance of that particular store.